All right, animation, how you doing? Here we go again. This time we're going to be working with a brush tool, and we're gonna be focusing on that. Last lesson we focused on the pen tool, but today we're gonna do the brush tool. And just to show you where we're going, here is the working copy that I worked through, and we're going to create this second wave in the background, and we are going to actually use the brush tool, okay? And we're going to focus on the brush tool today. So today we'll get our project up to where we want it, and then tomorrow we're going to actually be using we're going to do a small project using the brush tools, right? And again, the brush tools are was one of these hidden tools, and we're gonna have to pull out so you can't see it right away, but we'll get to there in a few moments. But what's really cool about this brush tool that we're going to use today, it's actually the specific instrument that you're going to use with the Wacom tablets, right? And I have some tablets, and you'll use that tomorrow in class, and so that you can actually practice and to see if you actually like it. I mean, some people are going to prefer the mouse. All right, so let's get to it. And so you can have some practice. So here's what you should be looking at, right? And the first thing we're going to do is we want to get this back to 200%. So go ahead and do that right now. We're going to do 200% up here, so you can zoom in, right? And it should look nice. Now, one of the things that we did, and make sure that your layers down here, okay, are locked. Your coffee aroma and your coffee cup are locked, because I'm going to do something right now just to double check, because mine has it and yours may have it as well. But my stroke on my wave didn't actually connect with my wave, the fill of the wave. So when I pull the wave down, you're going to see that there's the stroke that's there. So what I'm going to do, and you may have to do, is just click off the stage, highlight the whole stroke, and then go ahead and then press the delete key to delete it. All right. Now we have just the wave by itself. And don't worry, you can't delete the cup or the aroma. Undo if you did. And if you did, that means you didn't have your layers locked down here, because it would have protected it. So now we are in a good starting spot. So what we want to do, again, we're going to come back to this. We want to make this second wave back here. And the way we're going to do that is, obviously some people are going to get it right off the bat. You're going to copy and paste this one, right? So you're going to click this. We're going to right click this time and hit copy, because before we went ahead and you command C or Control C in the Windows machine or the Chromebooks, right? So we can do that way, or we can actually come up to edit, and we can also do copy here. But today we're actually just going to do with a right click. So what we're going to do here, the next step, once you see that it's selected, we're going to come up to Insert Timeline Layer. All right. And it's going to create a layer here. And that layer, we're just going to double click that and call it light underscore layer. Light underscore layer. Okay, I'm going to click on that right there. All right. And we're going to go ahead, once it's there, we're going to go ahead, and then we're just going to, we're actually going to hit you can do it either edit, paste in place, or you can right click, or you can control V, but I'm going to go ahead and push paste in place. So there. What it did is it actually pasted it on top of it. We've done this when we did the rings around the cup. So we're actually going to grab that, and we're going to move it up a little bit. Actually, we're going to move it over to the side a little bit to give it more of a wave contour, because in a minute we're going to pass it through. All right. So once we paste it in place, we're going to move and we've moved it. We're actually going to select the fill for that. So make sure that it's selected. Again, if you need to select it again, hit that V and then select it. So then we're going to come over to the fill, and we're going to choose a color. We're actually going to put a color in there, right? So we go to our hex, and this one's going to be called C, and then 4 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4 6s. Oops, mine came out. So CC 1, 2, 3, 4 6s. 6 6 6 6. Right. So, and then while we're here, we're actually going to go down to the alpha, and and again, if you lose it, just come back and get it again. We're going to get the alpha, and I'm going to type in 50. You can use the slider back and forth. All right. So the alpha value is now 50%. Okay. And so that's our step to get the wave in the back, right? So now once we click on the, off the stage, you're going to see how transparent it is, and you can see the brown in the back, and you've created a kind of a cool depth. And again, this is to give you more of a depth to the actual image. Those of you in art understanding, some opacity can help with just the 3D effect. All right, so this color splash, if you look at the stage, it's now colored in it, right? If you click on it, it's gonna be filled with it. So that's how we went ahead and took care of that. So let's go ahead and talk about brushes for a second, right? I'm gonna read you this excerpt from the actual tutorial lessons. All right, and it's talking about being expressive with the fluid brush and custom brushes. And again, these are brushes that are going to be, you can use it with a mouse, right? You can use it with a mouse, or you can use it with our Wacom tablets. And the reason why I say Wacom tablets, it could be actually any tablets. You can get some really good ones on Amazon, but we have the Wacom tablets here in class. All right, so this is what it says about this, all right? Although the pen tool exceeds at making precision curves like the waves that you created in the background, all right, it's not good for creating spontaneous, expressive marks, right? For a more painterly approach, use the paintbrush or the fluid brush tool. The paintbrush tool allows you to make shapes that are more organic and freeform, as well as shapes with regularly repeating patterns for borders or decorations. Choose from dozens of different brushes, and if you don't find something you can use, you can customize the brushes or even create your own. All right, so that's the paintbrush tool. All right, the fluid brush, on the other hand, is it also makes more painterly type of marks, right? And when they say painterly, they mean like a painter, a brush painter, analog painter, right? But it's designed to respond to pressure from a graphics tablet or at the speed at which you draw. So it's really interactive with the way and that's the fluid brush tool, right? So we just talked about the paint brush tool, and now this is the fluid brush tool that we're going to be using. The other difference between the two brushes is that the paintbrush produces strokes by default, while the fluid brush produces fills. And we should already be comfortable with those two terms. Remember, the strokes being the outline and the fill being the center. All right, so we're going to be exploring this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be using the paintbrush tool for the cafe name and logo, and you'll hand draw the letters, right? You'll hand draw the letters with a brush, and some of you are going to be awesome with this. You saw, my handiwork. I'll just show you this. I did this by hand with a mouse, so maybe not good. I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of you are going to be amazing at this. All right, so it's gonna simulate rough chalk, right? So here we go. So we're gonna create another layer down here. So your light layer selected. So I'm just gonna just hit the new layer over here now. Okay, I'm gonna click around it so you can see what I'm looking at. And it's gonna click that layer. It's gonna be new layer, and we're gonna double click that, and we're going to call this layer chalk. All right, it's gonna be layer chalk. And then we're going to actually put this on top of all the other layers. So it's going to be very top. So you can drag it and just pull it all the way to the top. So it reads chalk, coffee aroma, coffee cup, light layer, brown, dark brown wave. Okay. So actually, you know what? I think I messed up, but it's okay. We'll double click where it says light layer, and let's call that light wave. So replace layer with wave. I just saw that right now. Crazy, right? Well, I make mistakes and I go back and fix them, so it's all good. All right, so here we go. So now we're going to go and we're gonna find that paintbrush tool that I was talking about, and you may not see it. I can't see it. So again, we're gonna click those three little dots here, and we're going to look for that paintbrush tool, and here it is. Right? I'll click around it so you can see it's right here. You just grab it and then drag it wherever you want. I'm going to drag it close to my other brushes. Okay. And then once it's there, I'm going to select it. Okay. I can select another tool, and I'll close my little panel again by using the three little bars up here. Close that. Make sure that I got my paintbrush tool selected. Okay, and then we're going to go all the way over here, and I'm sorry. See how it's still selected? The wave is selected. Go ahead and click your selection tool if it is. Click off the stage so nothing is selected, right? And we're going to actually click that brush tool real quick. So we're going to go ahead and grab the, actually before we do the brush tool, come down here and where it says coffee aroma, coffee cup, let's go ahead and unlock those, right? And you may have to do what I do, which is I'm going to click the coffee cup, hold down shift, and then click the three aromas and then move it all over. Cause I want move it over to the far side over here. Cause we're actually this is our writing space. So remember you have to unlock them. And then once it's there, you can go ahead and lock them again. Lock the aroma, lock the coffee cup, and then it'll be a good idea to lock the light wave and dark brown wave. So now you've locked all the waves. I'm sorry, you locked all the elements. So if you can't merge them or you can't mess with them, the only one that you can actually manipulate is the one we're going to be working with right now, which is the chalk layer. So again, let's go back and get our, now that we've got our selection tool. Again, I did that with the selection tool. We're going to get our brush tool, and we're going to, we're actually going to go into we're going to choose a color. It's going to be whatever color you want now, right? But choose something that fits. I'm going to choose this bright yellow color right here because it's going to stand out, but make sure you choose a color that you like, right? And then for the right, so you can choose that for your stroke. And then down here under stroke size, right? I'm clicking around a little bit so you can see where I'm at. This stroke size here, we're going to actually increase this to 15. So I use a slider to get this to 15. Of course, you can double click that and you can just enter 15. Now we're going to go into we're going to find our brush tools. Now this is going to be in a sub menu, and we're going to actually click over here on the side. If you see these three dots next to the style, right next to the style, there's three dots. We're going to click that and we're going to open the brush library, right? And in the brush library, there's all of these different type of specialty brushes, decorative brushes, banners, text dividers. You can actually, all of these will come out of your brush if you use them, right? A line art brush, dashes. So there's a vector pack, hand-drawn brushes, you know, that you can actually use to get really, really artistic with it, right? And very decorative. And it'll be a lot different than when with you just using the brush tool by itself in its default mode. So these brushes, all of these brushes give you a different look, and you can really explore these, especially tomorrow when I'm going to give you time to kind of use the different brushes to create some art in your project, right? Because I'm going to give you a project to do that we got to this point. I'm going to stop the tutorials, and tomorrow you're just going to have some fun with it, right? So here we go. So in the artistic area, you're going to hit the chalk charcoal, right? That's what we're looking for. And we're going to kind of scroll down to where we find one that says charcoal thick. Okay. We're going to look for one that says charcoal thick. Let me open that one again. Again, you can just open it again if you lose it. Charcoal, go down here. There it is, thick. And you just double click that. Okay. And then once you double click that, you can close it. And you can see here, I already have the charcoal thick stroke style. It's a picture of what that thick looks like, right? And now it becomes your active style. So now we've got, and just to recap what we did, we picked our brush tool. We came over here, picked a color for our brush tool, the stroke size of our brush tool, and then the style, right? That kind of the artistic part of the brush tool. And so then now we're ready to go. And then we make sure that we have everything in place, right? And now we can start our hand lettering, right? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to write down Mugs Coffee. Again, this is an example right here, Mugs Coffee. And You can just watch me. After this, I'm just gonna stop the video and I'll give you some time to play with it, and then I'll come back and show you how to do it. Actually, I'll show you all the way through, and then I'm going to let you guys do the Mugs Coffee on your own. If you want to start, you can, but I want to make sure you know how to manipulate it just at the end. There's one little thing. So I'm going to go ahead in here. I'm going to start. I'm going to type in, oops. I'm sorry. See, I clicked aroma. It gave me an error. No. See, it's because I was on the wrong layer. Click chalk. You got to be on the chalk layer for it to actually work. So I'm going to type in Mugs Coffee. I'm going to do a big M. Oops, that Control Z is your friend, or Command Z is your friend if you go outside the area. And you notice that as soon as I let go, it kind of conforms itself to what the brush tool is. All right. There's my U. And again, you guys are probably laughing because you guys are really good and I'm struggling. Mugs Coffee. And here's a little thing that I learned earlier. If you're doing some titles, and if you do the first letter really big, right? Some people capitalize it, then it artistically looks better, even though if it's not grammatically correct. All right, my F. Cough. E. All right, Mugs Coffee. So, and now that we have Mugs Coffee on here, we can kind of manipulate it. Some of these things, maybe this little point, I don't like the way that the little point is. Maybe I wanted the bottom of this M to come down. So you can still tweak it afterwards. So, and again, we actually were able to kind of figure this out. But it's just a simple vector line, and it follows a certain line. So what you're going to do now, and this is the last thing, and I'm going to let you guys go ahead and play with these brushes and finish up your Mugs Coffee. So just stay with me for another minute or so. Is you're going to come up here to the subsection menu, right? Again, when it's regular selection V, it's basically like a black arrow, and then it's a white arrow for the subselection tool. And if you click on one of the letters that you just made or the brush strokes, it actually shows you the vector style. So you can grab one of those anchor points and you can bring it down if I want more of an M, and you can manipulate it in a little better way. So I like the way that my mugs look, except for the S. I would like the top of the S to be a little more pronounced. There you go. So again, you can make some more. Oops, I don't want to move the whole thing. Command Z. Oops, Command Z. There you go. I like my Fs. I like my E's. And again, if you want to move them around, just get your selection tool. And I want to, oops, I didn't want to do that. Oops, I don't want to mess with it. What's going on here? Yeah, you can manipulate it with that. I'm just going to see if I can select it. There you go. Move it down. So with your selection tool and your sub-selection tool, you can kind of fine-tune what you got. And there it is. That's Mugs Coffee for you. All right. Again, you guys can do it better. I'm going to let you guys play with the rest of the class period. And good luck. And then tomorrow we have a project just with the brushes. All right, guys. Great job. Wait, don't forget to save. Don't forget to save. Mr. Juarez out.